They were the queen and king of competitive bodybuilding. But the flames of their passion would ultimately engulf them in a brutal crime.
The body was very badly damaged from the fire.
She had duct tape over her face. She had taser marks. She was beaten. The very nature of how this woman suffered and died was just heartbreaking.
Welcome to Get Your Life. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I have more videos to come. Here's the parole
Can you
hearing.
please state your name and NDOC number for the record?
Craig Michael Titus, number 1024059.
Thank you, Mr. Titus. My name is Commissioner Schmidt, and to my left is Hearing Representative Billich. We're here today on a discretionary hearing on criminal case number C220719 for kidnapping. On that sentence, you received, on that case, you received a sentence of a minimum of 5 to a maximum of 15 years on this case. You have a parole eligibility date of 1/1/2024 with a projected expiration of 5/13/2026, and you do have a pending sentence on this case. I don't see any holds or detainers, and caseworker Schmidtlin, is that sentencing structure correct?
Yep.
Thank you. So on the screen, we're going to be putting up an advisement of rights. You're probably not going to be able to see it on your end, but do you recall signing the document on 9/19/2023 advising you of your rights and of this hearing today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we can move forward with that acknowledgement. Mr. Titus, I want to let you know that the safety of the victim's family, and the general public will be considered before any parole or post-judgment release decision is made. And if release is granted, the same will be considered in fixing any release conditions. In addition, we are in receipt of your packet that you put together. So we do have that for the record for your file. So just so that you're aware, we did receive that. At this time, would you like to go ahead and make any statement regarding this case or why we should grant parole?
Ma'am, if you don't mind, I could just read the letter that I wrote in a parole packet to you, unless you've already read it.
I have read it, but if you want it on record, you're more than welcome.
Well, I wrote this letter to you in sincere hope that my words would not read like every other inmate coming before you attempting to get parole today. I wrote this letter in complete utter honesty after many years of soul-searching, self-judging, and constant desire to live with the same moral compass. I possess pride in my retirement as a pro bodybuilder becoming addicted to drugs. Although what happened in my case was not intentional, I accept full responsibility for my actions and all the poor decisions I made, culminating in circumstances that escalate out of control. Within the 10 months I was addicted to narcotics, I made poor choices again and again. But just as I made poor choices then, since I've been incarcerated, I've only made positive choices, as my parole packet will show you. I come before this board today as a 59-year-old man who's been incarcerated now for 18 years. I can assure you with absolute certainty, I have in fact regained my moral compass, and I am a God-fearing man. I have absolutely no desire to poison my body with narcotics or associate myself with those that do so. To this day, I cannot fully express or put into words how truly sorry I am for what I have done, or how sorry I am for the pain and heartache I have caused the victim's family, my family, or anybody who I got involved. I ask that you grant me parole and let me once again become a productive member of society, and I thank you for your time and consideration today.
So Mr. Titus, I mean, your case was a very serious case, and the measures that you took to terminate somebody's life are horrendous when you read about them. What do you think about what led you at that time to follow through? And it's not like you did one thing, that she was murdered, but then you took her to the extreme you duct taped the head, you strangled the body, and then you burned it in a vehicle. When was enough that you had taken a life?
Well, first of all, ma'am, I came home to a very terrible situation between two young ladies that were fighting, as you know. I lost my temper and killed Melissa James, who was fighting with my wife in my home. They keep bringing up this duct tape over and over again, and I understand how it looks. But instead of calling the police and the authorities after this incident took place, after Melissa James died, I called friends. And these friends came over, and this is the plan we came up with: to tape a body up in blankets and put her in the trunk of a car, and then go dispose of the car and the body and hide all the evidence and act like nothing happened. I have no excuse for that. I will say that we had been doing drugs for months and months and months. These two, my ex-wife and my girlfriend, lived in the same home with me for a while. And I tried to remove myself from the situation before the event took place. And I brought the victim to a hotel, and I bought a plane ticket for her to leave to go back to New Jersey for Christmas. And she was not going to come back and live with us. And then I planned on checking into a rehab, and either my wife checking in rehab, or both of us, or getting a divorce, whatever the case may have been. When I brought Melissa back to my house to get packed to go back to New Jersey, and it's also in the files, you will see that I paid for a plane ticket for her to go back to New Jersey, they started fighting again, and I left the house. I'm responsible for everything that took place. But I will say, after the event took place and I killed Melissa, everything after that was arrogant and non-empathetic, with no consideration for anybody involved, for anybody that I would hurt, anybody's family members, for the victim. Everything was about doing the drugs and not caring about anybody else. So instead of calling the authorities, I called friends, and when they came over, that's the plan we came up with. And like I said, she was wrapped up in blankets, taped up, and put in the trunk of a car. And then I tried to hide everything with these friends that I called and came over. There's no excuse for it.
How do you think the victim's family has to deal with their loved one not just dying, but dying such a violent death?
I think it's terrible. I think they probably think about it every day. I can't imagine how hard it must be. I can't imagine what they think of me. I would hope that they forgive me. But this wasn't intentional, ma'am. I didn't plan on coming home and killing someone. I did not plan on walking in the door of my home and seeing two people fighting. I did not plan on coming home and watching someone getting tased. I handled it wrong. I lost my temper and I hurt somebody really bad, so much so that they died. I will say that I did try to revive this person, Melissa, when she first died. But again, I didn't call the police. I called friends. And I can't imagine what the family. I can only feel the pain and the heartache and the many times of reflecting that I've been through. So I can't imagine how hard it is for them, because I know how hard it is for me. It's got to be terrible. I can only hope they forgive me for what's happened. It's hard for me to forgive myself.
It's interesting that you still refer to those people that helped you burn this body as friends.
I say that with sarcasm. I thought they were my friends at the. I thought they were my friends at the time.
So there was a risk assessment that was completed on you. We're going to go over that risk assessment. If anything seems out of order, just let me know and we will go over that. You were 29 years at your first arrest, years of age. You don't have any prior parole or probation revocations. You were employed full-time prior to the instant offense occurring. You don't have any property crimes also. You do have a prior use of oxycodone. Was that what you were using, your drug of choice at the time, or was it additional steroids and other things?
No, earlier in my bodybuilding career, I used oxycodone for pain. Yes, ma'am, and abused it.
Okay. How many pills were you taking per day?
It wouldn't be a daily thing, ma'am. It would be a couple times a week. Are you talking about early in my
During the instant
earlier
offense.
charges, ma'am?
During the instant offense time. If you were under the influence of drugs when you killed her, how many pills had you taken?
This had been going on for weeks, probably 4 or 5 pills a day in addition to cocaine.
Okay. You are male. You do have 2 prior felony convictions. You're currently 58 years of age. You're not any member of any, or a validated member of any particular gang. You have completed Cage for Rage back in 2010. Have you completed any other programming while you've been in custody?
Yes, ma'am. I've done.
Now you've done some.
I have it right here. I just have to get to it. I've done alternative violence 1, alternative violence 2. I've done life skills, anger management. Life skills, anger management. Here we go. I've done life skills, anger management. I took the facilitators training course, alternative violence 1, alternative violence 2. That was on my first offense. On my second offense, the COVID-19 hit in 2020. There was no programs available for 2020, 2021, or 2022. And then I did not qualify for any because I have to be 24 months to my PED. During that time, I took it upon myself to get an associate's degree in the study of theology. And I had 2 ACCI life skill courses from the street, 1 in personal responsibility and 1 in substance abuse, which I completed those.
Okay. You don't have any offenses while you've been in custody, your last one being back in 2012, and you're considered a medium custody risk there at Lovelock. That gives you a total risk assessment score of 2. You are low risk to reoffend, and it advises us to consider factors regarding considering granting or denying your parole. Those factors are both aggravating and mitigating. Your aggravating factors is of course the impact of the victim's life being taken and to the community. It is, you do have 2 prior felony convictions on your record. Prior prison terms failed to deter you from committing this offense, and the extreme and abnormal aspects of this crime also give us a reason to pause whether or not you're released back into the community. Mitigating factors for you is that you have been infraction-free for over the past 2 years. You do have a pending consecutive sentence, so regardless, you're going to still have to serve an additional time on that last case for arson. And you have participated in programming, a lot of it self-initiated due to lack of programming being available to you, available through the prison. Caseworker Shitland, is that correct?
That sounds correct to me.
Thank you. No questions? Mr. Titus, is there anything that you haven't advised that you think is important that the parole board or parole commission consider? Again, we will discuss this case before any decision is made amongst the other commissioners and and reps here. But is there anything else that you want to let us know?
I guess, ma'am, the only thing I could say at this point was I understand how the severity of my case looks. I understand that. I just want to let you know and that it was not my intention to hurt anybody the day that this took place. And I have to live with that. And if I could do over again, none of that would have happened.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people in hindsight would make different choices in their life. However, the consequences of what happened are a factor that we have to deal with in today. So again, this is going to be concluding our hearing. It does take 4 of the 7 commissioners in order to grant or deny parole, and your caseworker should have a decision in 2 to 3 weeks. Good luck.
His parole was denied. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, turn on your notifications for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.